everyone can really hear. I'm going to make this a quick one. I just wanted to post an update to follow up on what I posted last Friday. PLIF perseverance, right? I looked back on it and I felt like maybe it was kind of a downer. And there's the difference between posting ups and downs during your PLIF or just, your spinal fusion recovery ups and downs, which are important because if you are considering having this surgery or if you are in the midst of recovering from this surgery, then it's kind of nice to hear other people's stories and all of the good and the bad that goes along with it, just so you can understand maybe A, what to expect if you still haven't decided to have the surgery, or B, if you are in recovery from the fusion, that maybe you can confirm or be concerned about some of the issues that you're going through. So I know that's what I've gotten from other people's videos and watching their process, their journey, and their story. So it's definitely what I'm trying to also project and help somebody else with. So I just, as the follow-up from last Friday, my parents had gone out of town for about a week. Since I had my surgery, I've been recovering at their home. Very generous of them to have me here because I don't come alone. I have my son, and he's in private school, so he has to be driven daily, and that takes a huge chunk of time out of their day. They live further away than I do, so it's just a bigger chunk of their day that's gone. But they really wanted me here for the recovery. I had tossed around the idea of trying to get that in-home care or the rehabilitative services that would have been, I would have been able to do that. But at the time when we were making the decision of whether or not I was going to have this surgery, I should say I was making the decision, there was nobody else really involved in any of my decision making other than myself. And I spoke to a lot of people who had been through it. I spoke to many doctors. I got lots of opinions. I became overeducated to get to the point where I decided, okay, this was the thing that I needed to do. And then made plans with my parents to have my recovery here. And the reason being is it would allow me to still be with and around my son. And to tell you the truth, there's no better medicine. He's got a great sense of humor. He's such a good kid, and he makes me laugh and smile every day. And that's really important, especially as you're going through some of this stuff, because there are ups and downs. And, sometimes your emotions, you're all over the place. So I did have a few other options at the beginning of this to have stay in rehab longer. That wasn't the choice that was made, and I won't get into the details why, because frankly, it doesn't really matter, and hindsight's 20/20. But the reality is I'm here. So back to what I was going to say about last week. Unfortunately, the way that I had to get through it, at 8 weeks, I had essentially gone down to almost zero pain medication. And if you have any idea of how much I was on, it was nothing short of a miracle that I had weaned myself down so quickly. I owe that all to an excellent physician, surgeon, who fixed me, and fixed me so well that I was almost pain-free immediately post-surgery. And then as soon as I got on that walking program, and the more aggressive, but properly aggressive that I got with it, the better I was feeling. So I thought I was going to be ready to go home last week, and instead I'm still here. So they go out of town, and literally anything that could go wrong kind of did, right? With the snowstorms and the ice storms and the windstorms, and the finale of it all being that my son, I don't know, the nurse thought he had rotavirus, but I really felt like it was more about food poisoning. There was no fever, and there was only one way action, if you know what I mean. And so at any rate, he's feeling 1,000% better. He was feeling better the following day on Saturday. He still had a little bit of issue, but it was nothing like the night before. I basically stayed up over 24 hours. He was up and out of bed. This went on in cycles, about every 30 minutes to an hour. One of those parental nightmares where you're just up all night. And it was, several loads of laundry, several incidences of having to wash the floors, stripping down the beds. I don't know how many times, changing your child, more loads of laundry. And I want to say we didn't fall asleep till about 5 o'clock that morning. We got up about 10 o'clock the following day. And again, like I said, he still had some intestinal issues, but they were further and far between. So I could see that, he was getting better. I also tried to, first of all, you're supposed to starve that sort of thing, but gosh, he was so hungry by 3 o'clock. I had to start giving him some toast and things and see how his body would process it. And it did. So that's great. And now, by the way, he's 100% better. So, so my parents got in on Friday, and, I was so exhausted by that point. And they had said, don't do dinner. We don't even know what we're doing. We may stop on the way or what have you. But it was all I could do just to make sure that all the laundry was done and everything was put away and that the kitchen was clean. But again, even with not having the car accident and the slip and fall, I shouldn't have been doing any of those things. I really needed help that week, and I do have somebody that pre-surgery I hired to help me because the pain had become so bad that I could barely leave the house. I could barely drive. So she's phenomenal, but currently unavailable after my surgery. And she knew that I was going to be here at my parents' house for a little bit of time. So, unfortunately, also because of the weather, it makes it very difficult for somebody to come and help you unless they're going to stay. I don't know. So I'm a little disappointed because, I definitely took some time out of my life and my son's life last spring break, and then a very good part of the end of the school year and the beginning of summer to help somebody who is very close to me and was just nowhere to be found during this time. And for me, there's not really too much I can say about that except that I'm going to have to let that go because, I guess people can only do what they can do. And some people aren't good at reciprocation at all. And I guess that's all I can say about that. But it was really hurtful. It was really hurtful. And it still is. So, at any rate, the other thing that I'm dealing with is I think it's kind of time to go home. So looking at the glass half full, again, it's a little bittersweet. I got through the last 2 weeks by increasing my pain meds back to essentially where I was before. But it does get me through the day to day, and it does allow me to, just do the things that I need to do. So regardless of what that x-ray says, whether or not I herniated the disc below, or if I have to go back in for surgery to fix the hardware, I realized that after last week and not having anybody that I'll be able to do it. I'll be able to get through whatever is thrown at me. So, it's not a great feeling, but I guess instead of focusing on the negative part of it, you really, in order to get through it, you have to remind yourself to just focus on the positive part of it. There's people out there who are going through what I'm going through, who have absolutely nobody, who wouldn't have had 2 months of, parental assistance. So what do? Had I known that my support might run out before I was completely healed, I think I would have gone the route of rehabilitation and stuck that one out a lot longer. Because I really believe that the key in healing is the being conservative, and so conservative on that front end. Just like my dad said, the more conservative you are on the front end, the more likely you are to be successful and not have to come back to the place that you were and start all over again. It's kind of where I feel like I am right now if I up and go home. But I will have to talk myself out of that one, because if I need to go home, then I'll just figure it out, right? I figured everything out last week, and we made it through. And we made it through together, my son and I. So I have confidence that things will work out exactly as they should. And I will accept whatever, that road is. And, I'll travel down it. And, I will come out the other side. I always do. And, I have to be positive for the good things. I got a text from my neighbor at my house who said, "Hey, by the way, I know you're not home, but I snowblowed your driveway." And, it just reminds me that I live in a great neighborhood with neighbors and friends. Most of us are all friends. We're kind of all the same age group. Our children are friends, and we kind of stick together when needed. Hurricanes and power outages and snowstorms and those sorts of things. So at least I have some support there. And of course, my friends, who I haven't seen in quite a while, they can't really do a lot as they have their own children and activities and things going on in their lives. But they certainly are good friends, and they're a good support network. So I won't be completely alone. I just, it'll just feel like it for a little while, you know what I mean? Anyway, back to the happy part. I just want to say I did get through everything last week. So if tomorrow morning I'm on my own with driving my son back and forth to school again, so be it. I am going to take every success and every step forward as an achievement, no matter what. And tomorrow they better have those x-rays and tell me what the results are so I can begin to move forward. I'm really anxious. I want to start physical therapy, but obviously, in the position I'm in, I'm concerned about that. I went for a walk tonight and I almost didn't make it back. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll update you later. Signing out, Kim.